After 60, plain water can actually slow your blood flow. Not because water is bad, because nobody ever told you the one thing you need to add to it. And the reason nobody told you, it does not require a prescription, does not require a doctor's visit, costs almost nothing, and it works faster than most medications prescribed for this exact problem. Do something right now. Look at your hands. Are they warm or are they cool even sitting in a warm room, even in the middle of the day? That temperature in your hands, your feet, the fog that settles over your thinking by early afternoon, that is not aging. That is your circulation sending you a signal. And the signal is not drink more water. The signal is the water you are drinking is missing something your body desperately needs after 60. My name is Dr. Sarah, over a decade working with adults over 60 on cardiovascular health. The most frustrating thing I encounter week after week is not the symptoms, it is this. People who did everything right, drank their 8 glasses every day, watched their diet, took their medications, and still came to me with cold hands they could not warm, brain fog so thick reading felt like work, and a fatigue so deep it had stolen years from their lives. Not because they failed, because the 15-minute clinical appointment is not structured to explain what happens to blood flow after 60 at the level that would actually change something. That is not a criticism of your doctor. It is a criticism of a system that gives a physician 15 minutes to address a problem that takes 20 minutes to properly explain. This video is those 20 minutes. Before we go further, how old are you? Drop your age in the comments right now and tell me where you're watching from. I read every single one. I genuinely want to hear from you. Here is what is actually happening inside your body after 60. Your blood vessels have inner walls called the endothelium. Healthy endothelial cells produce nitric oxide, the molecule that signals vessels to relax and open wide. When vessels open, blood flows freely. Oxygen reaches your hands, feet, and brain efficiently. After 60, 3 things change simultaneously. First, nitric oxide production drops sharply. Vessels stop relaxing properly. Circulation to your extremities and brain decreases. Second, blood thickens slightly. Red blood cells lose flexibility. Your heart works harder to push blood through the smallest vessels, the ones feeding your fingers, toes, and brain. Those areas suffer first. Third, your thirst signal weakens. Your kidneys become less efficient at retaining water. Many seniors are mildly dehydrated every single day without ever feeling thirsty. Plain water addresses only that third problem. It adds fluid volume, but it does nothing for nitric oxide, nothing for blood viscosity, and consumed without the right minerals, it actively dilutes the electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, and sodium, that govern whether your vessels relax or stay contracted. Hydrated by volume, starved by function. The water is going in, the circulatory response is not following. Let me tell you about a patient I will call James. 74 years old, retired engineer. Disciplined man, he tracked his water intake on a notepad. 8 glasses, sometimes 10, every single day. He came to me because symptoms his doctor had dismissed for 3 years. Hands and feet cold, constantly, even in summer. Afternoon fog so severe he had stopped driving after 2 p.m. And his memory, always his sharpest tool, failing him in ways that frightened him. Blood work normal, blood pressure acceptable. Every doctor told him he was fine. He was not fine. He was volumetrically hydrated and functionally under-circulated. Every extra glass of plain water was diluting the very minerals his blood vessels needed to respond. I'm going to come back to James because what happened 6 weeks later is the reason I make videos like this one. Strategy 5. Temperature-timed water. Cold refrigerated water triggers a mild constriction response in the blood vessels of your gastrointestinal tract the moment it enters your body. Absorption slows, peripheral circulation temporarily drops. For a circulatory system already working harder than it should after 60, that brief constriction is counterproductive. Room temperature water, 20 to 22 degrees Celsius, absorbs faster, no constriction, vessels stay open, plasma volume expands more efficiently. Timing matters equally. Drinking 1 glass of room temperature water 15 minutes before any physical activity, even a short walk, maximizes plasma volume before your vessels need to dilate. Research on older adults showed measurably better peripheral blood flow with pre-activity hydration compared to drinking immediately before or during movement. The change? Replace cold water with room temperature water throughout your day. Drink 1 glass 15 minutes before any movement. Free, no preparation. Start today. Strategy 4. Mineral-enhanced water. Drinking large amounts of plain water dilutes 3 critical electrolytes: potassium, magnesium, and sodium. These are the electrical signals that tell your vascular smooth muscle to contract or relax. Potassium and magnesium are natural vasodilators. They activate the same pathways that pharmaceutical calcium channel blockers artificially activate. When they're diluted, vessels stay contracted, the endothelium becomes unresponsive, blood flow suffers. This is why James, drinking 10 glasses daily, was getting worse, not better. The fix, a small pinch of high-quality sea salt, not table salt, which is stripped of trace minerals, added to each liter of water you drink. Sea salt contains over 80 trace minerals, including potassium, magnesium, and calcium. This is not about adding sodium. A pinch per liter is a small but physiologically meaningful shift. Alternatively, a slice of fresh lemon or a small splash of coconut water. Any of these 3 work. Research in the Journal of Applied Physiology found electrolyte-enhanced water produced significantly better vascular conductance in older adults over 2 weeks. Not more water, better water. James started this in week 1. By week 2, his hands were staying warmer longer in the mornings. If this is helping you, hit the like button right now and subscribe. I have more content like this coming and I do not want you to miss it. Tell me in the comments where you are watching from. I love hearing from every one of you. Strategy 3. Hibiscus-infused water. Hibiscus is one of the most clinically studied natural vasodilators in existence. Almost nobody drinks it specifically for circulation, and almost nobody knows that drinking it cooled at room temperature rather than hot changes its absorption speed and increases how fast it acts on your blood vessels. The active compounds, anthocyanins and hibiscus acid, directly stimulate nitric oxide production in your endothelial cells, the piece plain water cannot provide. A randomized controlled trial in the Journal of Nutrition found regular hibiscus consumption reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 7 points in pre-hypertensive adults. Confirmed mechanism: endothelial nitric oxide stimulation, the exact pathway weakened after 60. A separate study found acute blood flow improvements within 30 minutes of consumption. How to prepare it? Steep 4 to 5 dried hibiscus flowers in 500 milliliters of boiling water for 10 minutes. Cool completely to room temperature. Add a pinch of sea salt and half a teaspoon of raw honey if desired. 1 to 2 glasses per day, never hot, never iced. Look for deep burgundy color. The darker, the higher the active compound concentration. James added this in week 3. By the end of that week, the afternoon fog that had cost him his confidence driving had lifted enough for him to notice. Strategy 2. Morning warm water with lemon and ginger. Most people do not know this. The first 60 to 90 minutes after waking is the most dangerous window of the entire 24-hour cycle for your cardiovascular system. Cortisol surges. Blood is at its thickest after 8 hours without fluid. Platelet aggregability, the tendency of blood cells to clump, peaks in the morning hours. Most circulation-related events in seniors, strokes, heart attacks, dangerous clotting, cluster between 6 and 10 a.m. for exactly these reasons. Warm water immediately on waking begins restoring plasma volume and thinning viscosity before cortisol peaks. Fresh lemon juice adds vitamin C, a direct cofactor in nitric oxide synthesis, and citric acid supporting red blood cell health. Fresh ginger adds gingerols and shogaols, compounds with documented antiplatelet activity, comparable in some studies to low-dose aspirin without the gastrointestinal side effects. Research in thrombosis research confirmed ginger significantly reduced platelet aggregation in adults within 90 minutes of consumption. The protocol? Immediately on waking, before coffee, before food, 250 milliliters of warm water, juice of half a fresh lemon, half a teaspoon of grated or powdered ginger. Drink slowly over 5 minutes. This is not a wellness ritual. This is targeted vascular support using compounds your body already knows how to use. James added this in week 4. By week 5, his wife called my office. He drove to see his grandchildren, 2 hours round trip, sharp and fully present the entire time. One strategy remaining, the most powerful one, the one that hits the primary reason circulation fails after 60, directly and measurably in under 30 minutes. Strategy 1. Beetroot water with nasal breathing. This is what I now recommend to every patient over 60 before we ever discuss medication, and the research behind it is extraordinary. After 60, the single most important circulatory problem is nitric oxide deficiency. Vessels cannot relax. Blood cannot flow freely to your extremities and brain. Every symptom, the cold hands, the heavy legs, the fog, flows from that one deficit. Dietary nitrates, found in their highest natural concentration in beetroot, are converted inside your body into nitric oxide through a 2-step process involving your oral bacteria and stomach acid. The research on this in older adults is substantial and consistent. But here is what most people, including many clinicians, do not know. This conversion is dramatically amplified by one specific breathing technique. Slow nasal breathing activates your paranasal sinuses, the hollow spaces behind your nose and cheekbones. Those sinuses produce and release nitric oxide directly into your circulatory system with every nasal breath. Combine dietary nitrates from beetroot with sinus-activated nitric oxide from nasal breathing, and you are triggering 2 separate nitric oxide pathways simultaneously. The combined vascular effect is substantially greater than either alone. The exact protocol: dissolve 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder in a glass of room-temperature water with a pinch of sea salt. Drink it slowly over 5 minutes. Immediately after, 5 cycles of slow nasal breathing. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts, hold 2 counts, exhale through your nose for 6 counts. 5 cycles, 2 minutes total. A study in the journal Hypertension found dietary nitrate via beetroot reduced blood pressure and improved peripheral blood flow in older adults within 2.5 hours. Separate research documented slow nasal breathing increases nasal nitric oxide output up to 15 times compared to mouth breathing. 15 times! Combined, measurable improvement in blood flow to your hands, feet, and brain within 30 minutes of your first use. Beetroot powder costs a few dollars and lasts weeks. The breathing takes 2 minutes. This was the final piece James needed. 6 weeks after I gave James all 5 strategies, he came back. No medication changes, no diet overhaul, no new exercise program. He had changed how he was drinking water. The cold hands and feet? Gone. Not improved. Gone. The afternoon fog? Gone. He was driving again, fully, freely, and his memory had sharpened enough that his family noticed before he said a word to them. He sat across from me and said, "Dr. Sarah, I drank water every day for 3 years, and nobody could explain why I still felt this way. You changed 3 things about how I drank it, and my whole body changed in 6 weeks. Why did nobody tell me this before?" That question is why this channel exists. The research is published, the mechanisms are understood, but the 15-minute appointment is not built to deliver it. That is the gap. That is what we are here to fill. 5 strategies ranked by impact on blood flow after 60. 5. Room temperature water 15 minutes before activity. 4. Mineral-enhanced water with sea salt or lemon every day. 3. Hibiscus water, 1 to 2 glasses room temperature daily. 2. Morning warm lemon and ginger water within 10 minutes of waking. 1. Beetroot water with slow nasal breathing 30 minutes before activity or the mid-afternoon dip. Start with whichever feels most accessible. 1 change consistently applied beats 5 changes abandoned after a week. Which of these 5 will you try first? Tell me in the comments right now. I read every single one. If you found this helpful, hit that like button right now. It helps this reach more people who genuinely need this information. Subscribe if you have not already, and share this video. Send it to someone you know with cold hands, heavy legs, or that foggy afternoon fatigue. They deserve to know this. Take care of your circulation. It is carrying life to every cell in your body, every second of every day. Give it the right signals. It will respond. Everything in this video is general educational information based on published research in hydration science, vascular physiology, and cardiovascular medicine. It is not a substitute for personal medical advice. If you are managing hypertension, kidney disease, heart failure, or any condition requiring fluid or electrolyte management, please speak with your physician before making changes. This is a starting point for that conversation, not a replacement for it.